It appeared that the entire city of New York showed up to pay their respects to NYPD Officer Myosotis Familia funeral yesterday. Officer Myosotis Familia was ambushed last week by a cop-hating activist that has left law enforcement in New York City stunned. This day was horrible enough for Officer Myosotis Familia's friends and family, but a thug near the funeral decided to make matters worse. During the funeral, the attendees heard the NWA song "Fuck the Police" being blasted out of a nearby window. Now, the identity of the thug has been revealed and it is just as bad as you would think. The events surrounding the death of Officer Myosotis Familia is horrible enough in itself, but then couple Mayor Bill de Blasio's actions, and it becomes disgusting. For years, Mayor de Blasio has been pushing his disgusting anti-police rhetoric and now we are seeing deadly results. So, it comes as no surprise that during a funeral of a murdered police officer that one of these cop haters would be this disrespectful. Julian Rodriguez, 16, said he found the experience satisfying since his older brother and best friend had been unjustly killed by police. Since they did not show respect for my brother and my friend, why should I show respect to them? The teen told the Post. Well, while he may have found the death of this murdered officer and mother of three satisfying, he was not saying that after 20 officers showed up at his door. Here is more from the New York Post. The young man, who identified himself as Julian Rodriguez, 16, said it was satisfying to play the song on repeat from his apartment on East 188th Street, claiming that his older brother and best friend were unjustifiably killed by cops. Since they did not show respect for my brother and my friend, why should I show respect to them? The teen told the Post. About 20 officers went up to the apartment to try to halt the music, with one cop speaking to the teen in Spanish about his own time growing up as a Latino in the city. Law enforcement sources said the teen told the Post that he eventually apologized to the cops, but only because the building super threatened to toss his family out of their home if he didn't. I apologized because it was between the house and apologizing, he said. Cops at the funeral were infuriated by the show of disrespect. This is the ST we face every day, a police source scribed. The teen gave the Post the names of his brother and friend who he said were killed by officers, but the paper could not find any record of their deaths. Meanwhile, the teen admitted that while he hates cops, he feels bad for Officer Familia, who was executed by police hater Alexander Bonds while she sat in a mobile command vehicle nearby early July 5. I feel sympathy for that, because all she was trying to do was take bad people off the street, the teen said. It was wrong because she did not do anything wrong, but at the same time, my bro and my best friend died for no reason. A man who identified himself as the apartment's owner later claimed he was going to give the kids the boot over their show of disrespect. I left my job, came to the apartment, and told them they have to get out of there, said the man, who only gave the name Jesus and said he had been allowing the siblings to stay there for the week. I've got a deep respect for all the police. I didn't know they would do something like that. I can already hear the argument from the left saying that Rodriguez is young and it is his freedom of speech. Well, yes, Rodriguez does have freedom of speech, but that does not make him immune from the consequences of his disgusting actions. This teen is old enough to know what is right and what is wrong, considering that he said he felt bad that Officer Familia was killed. Rodriguez has a right to his own feelings, but that does not mean he can trample on someone else's. If Rodriguez had an actual problem, then there is a proper way of airing his grievances that do not cause further pain for Officer Familia and her family. This was one of the hardest days this family will ever have to face in their lifetime, and this thug had to make it even harder. However, I lay this disrespect at the feet of Barack Obama and the Mayor de Blasio. These so-called leaders have made an environment of hate and division that has put our law enforcement at risk. If Mayor de Blasio would have stood up and said that this sort of behavior would not be tolerated anymore, you would see a dramatic decrease in violence against cops. Until then, this sort of hateful rhetoric will only continue. Share if you are sick of this disgusting anti-cop narrative being pushed by the left. Follow us on Facebook at Freedom Daily.